Hey there, Andrew, C1D Paintball. We have video shot at Warzone Paintball in Rigo. Market map team deathmatch. First game of the day. So, you're in a situation where you're trying to gauge both sides, you know, make sure it's even in that. Sometimes the ref waits another game, sometimes he mixes matches after this one. Connor and I are on the same team. We're spawning in bunker, which is a slightly better spawn of the two, the White House, the other spawn. They both have their advantages. They're not far off. A lot of people would say they're even, but I just find bunker a little bit better on this one. So I'm going to go rather conservative. We've got a fairly big group here, at least a dozen player, maybe as many as 16 per side. I don't quite remember. And a mix of noobs and veterans alike. Now, I will just go in front of my spawn and help direct the noobs. I was going to take up the west side, the left side. Connor's going to take the right side, the east side, where the road is. And again, we're going to gauge temperatures here. See how the teams are aligned. And yeah, let's watch it.
Deathmatch again, boys.
Yeah, I'm going to try going for the barrels. So far. Yeah, but guys, if you're not running, still go up a little bit. It's safe.
So I have advanced just in front of the bunker like I said I would, and I'm kind of guiding our teammates on the west side. The opposite team spawning at White House will go and put a heavy presence, usually on the fortified area to the left of it. So we're not rushing up here on our side because the enemy did fortify that spot and they're already shooting lots of shots down. I want to direct my team, make sure in case any of the other team, Leroy Jenkins, in here, that we're good. But speaking of Leroy Jenkins, Connor runs in on the right side, immediately spots. He actually has got a couple players in his view, enemy players. They're the ones that Leroy Jenkins in, and right up to the front. Connor takes one out. Now, shortly, he's going to retreat off the field. And what's going to happen is Connor's going to focus on the second player and who's on the way back and try to fire at him, and something happens, but I'll explain it. And you experienced paintball players who have played a decent amount of games have been through this before. It's always good to explain it for those of you who haven't. Anyway, let's run the clip until we get to the spot I'm talking about here.
Sorry, there's a guy! Yeah, there's a guy right behind you, I'm sorry!
Okay, so the retreating player, walking across, well that's him here. Connor is going to explain because he fired a couple shots after he hit him, but he was firing at the guy's teammate to his left. So Connor does the right thing to do in my opinion, especially in the first game of the day, explaining, I'm sorry, you know, you walked in front of the other guy. It's good. That's what you do. It happens. Now, Connor is good job so far taking a couple guys out to start the game. He did get that other player too. But without players up with Connor to his left, Connor's got this wide left flank. Ideally, Connor in his position right now just wants to peek left, shoot a little bit left, but go around the right of the barrels and get to the guys on the east side of the White House. But as I explained, we're getting suppressed back on our side, so we can't really give him that support. When the video starts up again, you'll hear Connor asking for help because, in particular, mentioning that players haven't crossed the road. He's talking about the road in front of the main White House here. Now, well, two guys did, and he got them both, but the bulk of their forces haven't, so that's what Connor means when he's going to call out saying they haven't crossed the road yet. But unfortunately, we're not in a real position to explain to Connor we're not rushing up because we're being suppressed, because I don't want the other team to hear that.
I didn't mean to get you twice. Yo, yellow, move up! Yellow, move up, come on! Nobody cross the road! Move up! Yellow!
All right, freeze frame here. Both our cameras. My camera on the inset, the little one, Connor's main camera. You see all this green space? We're effectively on the front line here. That's all open space. On my left side, it's all open space in front of me here. And Connor's main camera, that's all open space that we would like to get teammates to fill in there. But once again, Connor mentioned they didn't cross the street to get to the other side. Well, and when I watch this video again, I hear him pleading for help. It's like, sorry, man, it's not a really good idea to help you here. We're getting shots raining down us on this side. So, you know, we don't see any of the other players from the other side. I can get the balls or long balling towards me, so I know that. So we're not feeling great, but we're not desperate yet. Now I have finally moved up just a little bit, but I moved up and I'm getting closer to Connor's position here. So we're still getting shots raining down on us, but gauge it a little bit. I've been able to move up a little bit, and hey, forward beats going backwards. And yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one on my team that heard Connor pleading for support to go up there. Just gonna reiterate that one again, because he's right. And again, we're right for not putting our necks out there yet.
Yellow, get up on the left!
Watch your back!
So you heard me in the previous sequence mention, watch your back. Yeah, I got a teammate that actually ran ahead of me a little bit closer to the Stonehenge position, but that's not what we're looking at right now on the screen. Because on the screen right now, Connor, the barrier is behind, he's leaning to the right. He sees an enemy kind of to his left. Connor goes around a bit of an angle around the drum, the barrier is behind. And the thing about that is, he's gonna expose himself. The more he goes out, the more he exposes himself. So he's not going to totally line himself up with that guy because it's just too risky. But he puts in a couple of shots just to let the guy know he's there. And yeah, heating up here. We're getting a little bit further up. And so are they, in the form of that guy Connor just spotted.
I go.
Connor gets taken out. We're going to mention Leroy Jenkins again. New player, a walk-on, a rental. Charges down the east road. Catches Connor a little bit by surprise because he's playing both sides of his barrier there, right? He calls freeze and shoots Connor at the same time. An experienced guy. These things happen. So you can see, there he is. The guy's flying through the air. He's jumping Jack Noob. That's I could name the video all these extra funny things, but you know, I'll name it whenever I name it. I actually catch a bit of this on my camera. You can see the guy charging in here. Connor's behind this barrier, so he runs and he gets him now. This point in my head, Connor's already taken two guys out. And the guy, the noob who ran by, he actually got shot by one of our players. So Connor's out, but took 2 guys out. Gets kind of an assist on this one. In my head, when this happened, I'm thinking, man, if we don't come back and win this, Connor's going to give it to me saying, man, I ran up, you didn't support me, that's why we lost it, in a fun kind of reviewing way. So in my head, it's like, I really hope we pull this one out. Now that last sequence, I'm still heavily on the left side, but I'm paying a lot more attention, peeking the right side where Connor's vacated, because, you know, a guy ran in there, so in my head it's like they're probably making a push up there. Now, as I'm going back and forth, left and right, I do spot an enemy creeping up, and he's going from right to left in my vision, so easy as said, enemy spotted.
Watch your back. Watch your back.
So, I saw a guy walk across from right to left, the last stoppage. And I'm looking out for him. I actually spot 2 guys. 2 enemies. At first, I'm kind of like, I'm lined up, in particular the left guy, but the right guy appears to the side, and I hesitate for a second, and the guy on the left kind of goes behind cover again. But then I wait, just a couple more seconds later, the guy on the left pops out, I take him out, quickly turn, go to the right. Luckily, I take the other guy out. Now what happens is, you can't really hear the words as I say, you kind of hear a mumble. One of my teammates beside me, to my left, a little bit behind me, says, you know, good play, you know, something like encouraging me because I took 2 out. But Jonathan's in the game. Jonathan, who's a one-man wrecking crew, and he's on the other side. And I have spotted him kind of on the right side. So, you know, thanks for the compliment, my teammate, but no. Let's keep going forward. No high fives yet. They're big guns on the right side. This one is far from over.
Hey, the big guy over here.
The enemy throws smoke. It's pink smoke. Pink smoke's okay. Not as good as purple, because purple is the best smoke. It is the best. They throw it in this open area, so there's a few things that could be happening here. The smoke is there because they're going to push up. The smoke is there because they want to back up a little bit. The smoke might be there because they're going to distract us, come in on the other side. It's most likely they're going to come up on this side. For me, on my angle here, I got to focus on this area here, which basically the open area where they can run in and try to take advantage of that smoke. On the other hand, you know, that right side, I got to pay attention. So a lot's happening here. Playing paintball. First game of the day. Beautiful day. Good group. They're throwing smoke already. Things could not be better.
That's a waste of $20.
So I've focused on the smoke. Nothing's happening. I do, currently in the view of the camera, I'm actually looking to my right towards the east. But just a few seconds before this freeze frame, I actually looked to my left. See the pink smoke the enemy threw. I got a lot of my teammates focused on this area here. So we're all focused on that. Makes me feel a little better at the time. So I don't have to worry about directly in front of me and to the right. I can pay attention to that. I don't have to worry too much about the left because those guys behind me to the left, they seem to have things well in hand.
Okay.
Got an enemy going from left to right in front of me. At first, I don't fire right away because there's a lot of barriers. I know I'm going to miss him. But he ends up running right at Stonehenge, nearly runs into one of my teammates, and with a clear shot, unlike him running through all these barriers, but with a clear shot, I take him out. Once again, no time to high five. We got some work to do. Where's Jonathan? Is he still up on the right? Because that's true. The game can be over very quickly, and with us losing.
Hey, the problem's on the right.
Alright, so I've moved up just closer to Stonehenge on the back side of it here. And on my little trip there, I noticed that Jonathan's out. So that's good. Bad for him, good for me and my team here. Yeah, keep going forward.
Coming out, go, go. Hey.
So I moved deeper into Stonehenge here. And got a veteran player around me. We've been communicating for the last couple of sequences. As I set up here, there seems to be an enemy presence in this area here. There's a few bunkers, a few enemies there. So they gotta go. Now I should address the me lying on my back pointing backwards. Did have a couple of shots go right by my head, so for my teammates behind me looking at me, I'm pointing out that's where the enemy is. But you know what? It's a north-south gameplay on the map. It's more for dramatic effect.
Right there. He's there, the block, the block!
All right, firing some shots in, working on those enemies that are in the bunkers. Now, I called out the blocks. It's where I'm shooting at, this area here. There's a player there. It's actually a girl. A lot of the guys she went with to this, they were a walk-in group. They were at spawn still. She's got guts going up here, in the thick of it, but she's got to go. Now I have teammates up to my right. I know that the left side's doing well. So at this point we have a manpower advantage. I'm going to swing wide right and try to take that girl out from behind that bunker. And who knows what else I'll see there. Worth the risk. We have the manpower advantage. We don't want to get too bogged down here.
Sorry. I don't know, I think that smoke helped us better.
Nice freeze.
Good game, guys. What happened there?
Oh, a guy froze me and he was shooting at me too while saying freeze. He shot me on my back.
Okay, that's this one. So I got to go back in the staging area, see Connor, and he couldn't complain too much about us leaving him high and dry on the right. It still probably wasn't a good feeling for him, but we did win the game. First game of the day, anything can happen. We got a good feel. Teams are pretty even. Good group so far. We've already made other videos from this day of paintball. And look, anything can happen out there. It ain't over till it's over. Cliche. thing about cliches, a lot of them are true. So go out there, have fun, try your best, be nice to the noobs. Sometimes they gotta go, right? Like what? Remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Game over.